Ladies and gentlemen, there's a Wall Street Journal article titled, James Comey Can't Recall. It's by the editorial board on October 7, 2020. The FBI ignored a 2016 Central Intelligence Agency warning about a possible Hillary Clinton dirty trick. That's an article that talks about how Comey was informed. He was given information in the form of a memo that stated, quote, background, investigative... Okay, hold on a second. An exchange discussing U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. Now, that's just one article talking about how James Comey knew Trump wasn't installed by the Kremlin or that Russia didn't interfere with the election, and all of this was fabricated. We know from the Michael Sussman indictment, the Danchenko indictment, the Kevin Kleinsmith indictment, who was a lawyer at the Bureau, that all these people broke laws in various attempts to set up and frame Donald Trump. Okay, Trump was in public life for 30, 40 years. They couldn't find anything on him. They had nothing. They literally had nothing. They had a couple bankruptcies and lawsuits, but that's billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg has a major lawsuit now for insider trading. If you're a billionaire, you're going to have a whole bunch of lawsuits and possibly some bankruptcies, but that's all they had on Trump. And they pushed a false, fake, fabricated, phony dossier, a Steele dossier, that Comey also lied about. He said, well, he didn't know that Clinton had purchased the dossier. Well, she did. Baker at the Bureau didn't know his legal counsel, Comey's legal counsel, apparently didn't know that Sussman was working for Clinton. They all knew. All the information that they obtained, whether it was the Steele dossier or Alpha Bank information or any other absurd nonsense, emanated from one source, the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. That's why when Comey asked for DNC servers and he was denied and he was given only a copy from a tech company, that tech company was paid by the Democratic Party. And then that tech company's copy was utilized to create the assessment. So the ODNI, the Office of Director of National Intelligence, their report on Russian interference was based on high to moderate confidence assessments. It wasn't based on any certainty. They weren't certain about anything. They were confident. Then the Senate panel confirmed their confidence. So it's this semantic game that they played. And media ran with it. Oh, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. We've indicted Russian intelligence officials. Well, they were indicted for hacking the DNC based on Company One's research. Company One was the same company that gave Comey copies of the servers. And Company One was the only evidence used to indict those intelligence officials. Simply saying, well, the U.S. intel community agrees with what Company One said is not evidence. But here, Daily Mail, ex-director of national intelligence claims Biden and President Obama knew about Hillary campaign to mine data from Trump's servers, enough evidence in Durham's Russia probe to indict multiple people. Now, John Ratcliffe told special counsel Durham there's enough evidence to indict multiple people connected to the origins of Trump-Russia probe. I spoke to an attorney recently, a very, very, very powerful and intelligent, very intelligent attorney, okay? And he told me, he said, these people like the Durham probe or prosecutors, U.S. prosecutors, they're not going to take on a case unless they're absolutely sure that they can win the case, okay? So a person like Durham is not going to indict anyone unless he's absolutely sure. Now, whether or not there's enough to indict is different from John Durham, the special counsel, compiling enough information to secure a conviction. By the way, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Every day at around every evening at around 11 p.m., 10 p.m. Pacific time, I will have an upload. I might resume tomorrow the live streams. These uploads are doing well, but I might have an upload at around 11, 10 p.m. every evening now on the fact that nuclear annihilation and a U.S. economic depression is possible. So the Dow is approaching 1,000 points down today, 700 or so. Gas nationally is over $4. It's over $5 in some places. If you know where it's over $6 or close to $7, let me know. Let's see. Oil hit 130 yesterday. It's around. Oil prices. I mean, my God, if you look, it's just unbelievable. They hit 130 yesterday, and they're down to about 123 now, Brent crude. But still, you have inflation at 7.5%. Oil that hit 130 will go past all-time highs, or the all-time high is 147. Gas is skyrocketing. Bitcoin is eventually going to get to 10,000, unfortunately, because I respect Bitcoin and the people who invest and the philosophy behind it. The Dow will get to around 20,000 or so. I predicted the stock market crash we're seeing. After I wrote my Federalist article, the Dow tanked about 4,000 points in the past 5 months. And we're going to see the 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 point drops in a day. And so I predicted the stock market crash. I told you that what's taking place between Russia and the U.S. is going to escalate into a nuclear confrontation, and it did. Russia elevated its nuclear readiness. So they're on higher alert, which makes the whole world more unsafe, more of a volatile, unstable place. Okay? So I have every evening now. We'll see how it goes. It's people find it interesting. It's a discussion around 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., just, to give you some good vibes before you go to bed about nuclear annihilation and the end of the planet, there's a potential for that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if there was a 2% potential last year, it was now 4% chance. So, look, people have hyperventilated over things that were far less of a problem. Let's just put it that way. We won't talk about that. But you have a situation now where the end of the planet could take place. But anyway, I have every evening around 11 p.m. be here for that upload. About 10 p.m., 11 p.m. You'll enjoy it. They have enough for indicting a lot of people, Comey included. No doubt Peter Strzok. No doubt other people who worked with Peter Strzok. These people, by the way, nobody should have known. These agents should have been like umpires in baseball or referees in football. Like the best umpire, the best referee is a person you don't really know his name, because the only time you know an umpire or referee is when they make a bad call. Now, how often over the years? I mean, we didn't know the name. We only knew the pseudonym of the bureau agent that was the source for Watergate. Okay, we didn't know his name for decades. Okay, so we generally don't know the names of FBI officials. Okay, you can go through every era in U.S. politics, and you're never going to be able to name even more than two, or J. Edgar Hoover and maybe one or two, but you're not going to be able to name people like Peter Strzok, Kevin Kleinsmith, James Comey, Andrew McCabe. There are others that I can name too, just from doing research. This is an era where these, because they are either investigated by the Durham probe or actually fired by William Barr, or kicked out of the Bureau because of lying like Andrew McCabe, or kicked out of even the Mueller probe like Peter Strzok, or because they had text messages like Strzok saying, "We'll stop Trump." You know who these people, you've heard their names in media. Now, media and bureau officials should not ever mix. But there's this unholy symbiotic relationship now where you had journalists at left-leaning publications obtaining information from officials, government agents, intel officials, then spreading the nonsense into the airwaves, and you have half the population who needed some excuse. What happened was Clinton lost to Trump, like I said she would, by the way. I was one of the only people on the left, if not the only person, to say that she would lose to Trump. NPR quoted me. That's on hagoodman.com. You could read my writing on The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist. Read my Federalist article predicting the stock market crash. That's below in the pinned comment. But you have all of these, like, you have media, and Horowitz found this out, the Inspector General, and you have government agents, and they were partisan, and they wanted one thing, to set up and frame Trump. Now, Durham has enough to indict Comey right now because he knew everything emanated from Clinton. He knew, like they all did, that they weren't going to talk about national security. Now, there are ideologues, Democratic ideologues, that they were playing to, that they were trying to, foment the allegiance of these ideologues for the Democratic Party, not for the country. So when you have people saying, well, Russia attacked our democracy, what they mean is they don't know for certain, they don't know without a shadow of a doubt that Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country what? And it gets back to Bernie Sanders, that Bernie Sanders was cheated. How absurd is that? Anyway, give me your thoughts below. He has enough to indict, but he's waiting for more information and evidence. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Be here tonight at around 10 p.m. 11 for the series, the ongoing series on which you could say is the end of the world. I don't think it's going to happen, but, it's the chances are growing every day. And be here in about, 2-3 hours for the next Durham probe upload.